Can we take a step back and talk about this Celtics starting lineup and just how good it is, where everyone is focused on Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum traditionally for good reason, but basically in the last few years, they've added Jrue, they've added Porzingis, and the other guy they've added is Derrick White. And I don't know if you've noticed lately, but Derrick White is absolutely balling, Cody. He's just really good. And you start on the defensive end with him. His ability to get up into people, chase them around screens, be disruptive, switch, guard multiple positions. And I feel like once every game, Derrick White is doing something that's like incredibly high IQ sneaky, like coming in from behind and stealing an offensive rebound or something like that. Or he does this Michael Jordan thing where he kind of flies in from the perimeter and blocks shots from behind at the basket. He can protect the rim that way. He can fly over that way and get steals. He is just a very slippery, sneaky, versatile, big guard who can protect the rim a little bit, play all over the floor, and that's just sort of like this defensive baseline that he provides right out of the gate. Then you have Kristaps Porzingis, as you mentioned, drop big man, protecting the rim. Last year, I think in Washington was the best year of his career, and he's picked up right where he left off in Boston. On the offensive side of the court for Porzingis, the pick and pop game, and the fact that they actually can get a little more than just his shooting out of that. Like, you'll actually see plays with gravity. You'll see plays where two defenders go to the pop. And I actually think it was against the Cavs. Derrick White came down the lane and was the one who ball faked, knowing that two defenders would bite back toward Porzingis' shot. So you get the IQ of these players working together. You get Porzingis on the perimeter, drawing gravity and opening up offense. And it all just fits around the Stars really well. And they just have this unbelievable starting lineup that goes both ways.
Yeah, offensively too. And talking about Kristaps Porzingis, I don't think his three-point percentage is particularly high when you look at the last couple of years of like his wide open three-point percentage. I think it's probably, I thought it was around 35 or so, but the volume and the quickness and the release point he has, and the fact that he can, like the Ryan Anderson and like the late 2010s Rockets, where he's just able to pull up from like 4 or 5 feet behind the line, it just makes it like impossible for most big men to try and contest him properly or to stay in front. And, you know, he can sometimes put it on the deck and he gets in, but he's a lot more comfortable taking that jump shot. And that just provides incredible spacing. But the other side of that ball is like you have both Jrue Holiday and Derrick White, who are very comfortable hanging out like around the paint. Like, there are so many possessions where Jrue Holiday is just like going back and forth between the dunker spots and making plays there. Like, one of my favorite plays of the season is the only two Celtics players that are like within the 3-point line. Maybe there's someone else hanging out, but I think those are the two main guys are Derrick White, like in the middle of the paint, and then Jrue Holiday like under the basket. And Derrick White gets a pass like in the paint, and he immediately does like a high-low pass down to Jrue Holiday, who immediately like touch passes it to Jaylen Brown, wide open three. Story's over, right? No, Ben, story's not over. Brown misses. Jrue Holiday like Tyson Chandler offensive tips it out to Derrick White, who is now popped out to the three and buries the wide open three. And when you have two, like your two smalls, your two guards are offensive rebounding, high-low passing, kicking out for three. Unbelievable flexibility, especially when your big man's like propensity is to stand behind the line and like shoot a bunch of threes. They're just like, we talked about how funky like OKC's offensive construction is and the weird things that they can do schematically. Boston's right there with the way that like, obviously Tatum and Brown, we know what they're able to do, but the interplay between these three other guys is just so cool. It's just so cool to watch.
So in the Cavs game the other day, they started with a more traditional look where they had Porzingis guarding Jared Allen. And the Cavs had a ton of success with those small guards against this drop coverage that the Celtics were running with Porzingis. They come back in the second half, and Coach Joe Mazzulla is like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to stick Jayson Tatum on the center, Jared Allen, and we're going to take Porzingis. We're going to put him on a non-shooter. And so all of a sudden, now Porzingis can roam and stay closer to the basket. And so you end up with this great sort of cat and mouse game where the Celtics have success moving Porzingis away from the ball. So the Cavs are like, man, let's see if we can switch Porzingis back on to Jared Allen, because we know the Celtics like to switch. See if we can bring him up to set the ball screen. Again, you get the pre-switch where they switch behind the play, keep Porzingis low. You can only do that, Cody, because you have Derrick White, because you have Jrue Holiday, because you have Tatum and Brown, all these guys who are big and strong and versatile, and I think it makes them a great defense, and they fit well on offense. Like Derrick White's skill sets on offense, what's he really good at? Making decisions, quickly acting, very quick release on his shot. So he can run offense and make decisions like, I'm going to drive into that space because of the way the defense is playing and finish with my little scoop touch shot that I have or whatever. Or if you go under the screen and give me space, I can quickly cross and pull up for three because I'm comfortable doing that, even though I'm not a traditional like offensive self-generator. And then attack closeouts when someone else creates an advantage and make good decisions there. It all really fits together nicely on both ends for Boston, and that starting five is just crushing people right now.
I really don't want to undersell just how good Jayson Tatum is, though. Like defensively, like you were just talking about, you can just throw him on a center. And we've talked about like Jim Corner here, big buff dude. He's also like huge, like tall dude. He's got some muscle. You can't just like hammer him down into the basket, so you're able to switch him around him and use them in these flexible positions. You know, Derrick White, probably like the best rim protecting guard in the NBA, the best rim protecting guard we've seen since I don't even know when. Like he blocks Goga Batadze like at the rim, and then immediately next play he's like playing at the nail and he strips like a driver. It's such a flexible defender, right? And I'm the Jrue Holiday guy, and every time I watch Derrick White, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is just like the key to everything that they're doing out there. So this Celtic squad is like a special sauce on both ends of the court.
And here's the crazy thing to me. We usually don't talk a lot about transactions on this show, but just thinking about how this lineup fits together so well from a basketball standpoint got me thinking about how they were assembled. And it's kind of crazy because Derrick White, he was traded from the Spurs to the Celtics for Romeo Langford, right, who the Celtics drafted, and Josh Richardson, along with a 2022 first-round pick who became Blake Wesley. Blake Wesley, Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford turns into Derrick White, one piece of this five-man unit. Kristaps Porzingis, the Celtics traded Marcus Smart along with a bunch of other peripheral pieces to essentially acquire Porzingis. And Jrue Holiday was acquired for Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, and a 2024 first-round pick. How did the Celtics get Malcolm Brogdon, Cody? The Celtics got Malcolm Brogdon for some people Malik Fitz, Juwan Morgan, Aaron Nesmith was basically the star of that trade, along with Daniel Tice and a draft pick that became Julian Strother for the Nuggets. And then on the White trade, when I mentioned they shipped out Josh Richardson for him, how did they get Josh Richardson? They got Josh Richardson for Moses Brown. And this is my favorite part of this whole thing. Moses Brown was part of the trade to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Al Horford. So the Celtics were like, here you go. We got to get rid of Kemba Walker and Al Horford. Kemba Walker's basically out of the league. We'll throw in a 16th draft pick that actually became Alperen Şengün, by the way. Cool factoid there. And then we get Al Horford back. So the Celtics were like, how do we get Derrick White? We get Derrick White by going Moses Brown and Al Horford to later on use that to be the key piece along with Romeo Langford to get Derrick White. The whole thing is just incredible general managing. Thanks for listening. You can find the full episode of this Thinking Basketball podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you enjoy podcasts.